back with our third episode of Mac Talk, the shows that define the future of tech. In our last episode, we have talked about evolutions of Mac chip. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about challenges in Apple strategies, competitions, and regulation. Let us proceed with our discussions. So, Uma, as a CTO of Apple, what are the challenges that Apple are currently facing with their Apple Silicon?
Alright, so thank you, Rafaela. So one of the first big technical problem is that software does not work with other software. So when Apple tried to switch from Intel to Apple Silicon, many apps were not optimized immediately for the new ARM-based architectures, which is the device engine design. Apple introduced Rosetta 2 so that all the Intel-based apps could be translated and run, but the performance is not consistent. Apps may run slower, have bugs, or do not work properly in some cases. Hardware limitations present another difficulty, especially when it comes to gaming and high-end graphic performance. Apple Silicon still find it difficult to match the capabilities of dedicated GPUs used in conventional gaming system despite its excellent efficiency and power for general activities. Because of this, a lot of AAA games such as Cyberpunk 2077, Call of Duty and Elden Ring are either unavailable or poorly optimized for macOS, which restrict the gaming experience.
Thank you, Omar, for your thorough explanations. It clearly demonstrates that although Apple Silicons offer excellent performance and efficiency, there are still issues with hardware constraints, compatibilities, and performance. This complexity of innovation is highlighted by this trade-off, particularly for professional users. Could you describe the business implication of this problem for Apple, Intan?
I appreciate you for asking. From a business standpoint, Apple is under intense competition in the semiconductor and technology sectors. Businesses like AMD, Qualcomm, and Intel are constantly developing their chip architectures, enhancing performance and making significant investment in processing power and AI. To keep its technological advantage, Apple is under pressure to constantly reinvent its Apple Silicon, especially in areas like performance per watt efficiency, GPU power, and AI acceleration. Apple also has pricing issues that are directly related to its cutting-edge technology. A substantial investment in research, design, and manufacturing is necessary for the creation of customized chips such as the M series. As a result, Apple positioned its product at a premium price. Apple is under increasing pressure to consistently justify its cost by superior technological innovation and user experience, as rivals are already providing devices with equivalent performance utilizing alternative chips technologies at cheaper prices.
Thank you, Intan. This demonstrates two close connections between Apple business performance and its technological strategy, especially when it's come to chip developments and ecosystem compatibilities. Although Apple Silicon enhanced its competitive edge, it also presents difficulties with regard to pricing pressures, developers' adaptations, and competitions. Let's now go from commercial viewpoints to actual technological experience as seen through the eye of the user. How have these technical difficulties, particularly those related to software optimization and cross-platform compatibility, impact your experience with Apple Silicon as an Apple user, Alif?
Software optimization is one of the biggest technical difficulties I encountered with Apple Silicon because of its ARM based design. Not every application works with it. Rosetta 2 is still used by certain apps for translation, which may result in inconsistent performance, slower speed, and frequent issues. Another issue is hardware and software optimization across platforms. Although cross-platform tools and virtualization are more complicated, Apple Silicon is highly optimized for macOS. Due to architectural incompatibility and a lack of native compatibility, running Windows or some development environment is more difficult, which might be a barrier for developers.
Thank you, Olive. Your experience makes it very clear that while Apple Silicon offers excellent performance and efficiency, there are still technical issues within Apple ecosystem. Building on that, let's examine how Apple tackle issues at the more advanced technology levels. Haniza, from the standpoint of the specialist, could you describe how Apple deals with issues regarding AI development and its overall plan for chip innovation?
Thank you, Rafaela. One of Apple's biggest technological challenge is incorporating advanced AI capabilities directly into chip design. Apple Silicon, to compete with businesses like Google and Nvidia that are creating highly specialized AI chips for large-scale and generative AI workloads, even if it has a neural engine specifically designed for machine learning operations. In order to accommodate increasingly complex AI processing, Apple is under constant pressure to enhance its processor design. Another significant obstacle is Apple's on-device AI approach, which is directly related to Apple Silicon's capabilities to handle AI operations locally. Apple uses its system on a chip architecture which integrates the CPU, GPU, and neural engine. Compared to cloud-based systems that utilize powerful data center GPUs, this limits scalability even as it enhances privacy, lowers latency, and boosts energy efficiency. Numerous businesses are making investment in cutting-edge semiconductor technologies such as high-performance GPUs and specialized AI accelerators. This puts more pressure on Apple to maintain its lead in performance per watt efficiency while continuously improving Apple Silicon.
I appreciate your thoughtful explanation, Haniza. We can see from today's presentations that although Apple Silicons offer remarkable performance, it also presents a number of difficulties on various levels. For a business standpoint, Apple must contend a fierce competitions, price pressure, and ecosystem limitations. That concludes today's episode. I appreciate the participations of our speakers. Thank you, listeners, for joining us today. See you in our upcoming episodes where we will talk and explore about Apple's futures in digital world. Thank you. Bye-bye.